Hey, what's up? It's Jack, and welcome to this video where I'll be talking about two very important memo tips or techniques that you should know that I didn't even put in my 5 memo tips video that I tell everyone to go watch, which is dumb of me. So I made a separate video about it because it's really important for anyone that averages above like 15 seconds. Actually, the first concept could probably apply to everyone. But anyway, the two ideas I wanted to talk about are grouping and having an even review system. So starting off with grouping, this is something I've noticed a lot with I'm doing a coaching trial at the moment. So like video calls and video critiques of people doing blind solves and all that. And yeah, 1 or 2 weeks in, I've noticed that this is very much a recurring thing. In which people, I'm just going to use this example scramble that I genned. For instance, if I was memoing, like pretending I use M2, they go like AT, so at, J, R, so jar, then they go through everything they memorize at jar, then they go to the next pair, so QN, QD, cred, then they repeat everything again, so at jar, cred, then they go to the next pair, XO, show, then they repeat the whole thing again, so it's kind of like pretending each number is like a letter pair. They go 1, then 2, review 1, 2, then 3, then review 1, 2, 3, then 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And this is super common by the looks of it. And I think the problem with that is that you're reviewing the first letter pair like a million times, and you're only reviewing the last letter pair, which also seems to be, I guess, the one that you're probably more likely to forget anyway, maybe only once or twice. I don't think that's like, I guess, ideal. I think it's better if you review everything evenly. Pretty much kind of like my multi-blind. If you've seen my series, you might notice that I try to review everything like to an even extent. So in the case of the scramble, so at jar, and then review at jar, then maybe the next 2 pairs, so yed, show, then go through those again, yed, show, then the next 2, so wok, lad, and you go through those again, then you review the whole thing. So in that case, you're reviewing everything, I believe, twice, yeah. I mean, you can kind of review each step maybe a couple more times, especially if you're a bit slower, if you're feeling uncomfortable. But the general idea of it is to make sure you're reviewing everything the same amount. And something I probably should have thought earlier, because it was the first point I brought up, was to make sure you're grouping things, because it can help structure your memo better for your brain. What I mean by that is your brain's better at interpreting groups of stuff rather than like this one slew of, like, for instance, audio pairs. Even like with where I am right now, if you see my recent video where I actually speak out a memo, you can actually hear me like group out like my edges into 3 separate groups. So it's not important only for like the sake of reviewing them in groups, but even like as a standalone thing, because I don't review a memo at all, which is why I didn't even think about bringing this up in my memo tips video, which was a big mistake. But yeah, be sure to experiment with that. You don't necessarily have to group it the way I did. You could try to do 3 pairs in a group and review more than once of the same group. But the main point is to make sure you're reviewing everything in even amounts. Give all them pairs the equal treatment. Another thing I had to bring up as well is that, unlike maybe memorizing a deck of cards, I haven't even tried doing that, so I don't want to talk too in depth about that. Where I feel like you might know exactly how much you have to memorize. For like memorizing a cube, I mean, you're generally memorizing the same amount, but it can like fluctuate a little bit if there's like a solved edge or there's like an extra cycle and all that. So yeah, I think you just have to practice dealing with that kind of stuff as well. But as a general rule of thumb, at least for me, I tend to think of things in terms of like groups of 2 pairs. So for instance, if I had like 5 letter pairs on like a background for like corners, and I kind of think like 2 pairs, and just like a single pair on its own, something like that. And for twists and flips, I have like different rules than that, but I could probably say that for another video. But the main point, 2 points, is 1, to group your memo into smaller parts when you're thinking about it. This works at like every level, like no matter how fast you are at blind. And 2 is to make sure you're reviewing evenly. This applies to everyone that's reviewing more than like a 2-pass, i.e. like memorizing then everything and reviewing everything. So be sure to give that a shot, and I hope that helps. Because this is something I've mentioned in a lot of video calls and critiques and stuff so far. See ya!